Hello and welcome to our second session on Supplier Relationship Management. We have Thompson to talk us through the concept of SRM and how it can add value to procurement. I guess the first question I've got for you, Ian, is what do we mean by added value?
Yeah, thank you, Andrea. So added value means something above and beyond. We have a contract with a supplier for delivery, and added value therefore is something that's in addition to the deliverable. If you've got multiple contracts with a supplier, you're looking at additional value over and above all of those contracts. So over a longer term period with a supplier, you might be talking about adding to the quality process, or bringing on board some degree of innovation, or maybe taking some risk out of a process, or possibly reducing costs over a period of time. That's added value.
Well, thank you for that. And I'd like to know, what are the critical success factors for supplier relationship management? How do we make it work?
Yeah, so relationships in this context to drive added value, they don't just happen. They require commitment and drive from both parties. So the number one critical success factor is a commitment from the senior management of both organisations to invest in the relationship and drive added value. So that requires vision, but it also requires a mutual understanding. It requires good communication in a two-way manner. It requires collaboration, and it requires behavioural things such as trust.
You've mentioned collaboration. Are you saying that both parties need to collaborate, or can you force one party to collaborate?
Yeah, that's a little bit like the argument about win-win versus win-lose. For relationship management, supplier relationship management, to bring out strategic added value, this is very much in the win-win area of working together. The word collaboration simply means working together. So if we are trying to force one party into another situation, perhaps against their will, that can be achieved in a short term, but it's unlikely to be a sustainable feature of a relationship. And so collaboration is fundamental and key for supplier relationship management and having added value in the long term.
Well, we hear a lot about supplier relationship management. Sometimes it's called the unicorn of procurement, in that a lot of people talk about it, but nobody ever sees it. Could you give us some practical tips on how we could actually get this into place?
Yeah, okay. So, yes, you're right about a lot of people talking about it. If all the parties are doing is talking about it and having warm words, cosy meetings, a warm handshake, nothing's ever going to get done. So we go back to the senior management of both organisations making that commitment to work together. They need to follow that commitment up with an investment of people, time, resources, money. And that investment is about getting those resources on both sides, sitting down, working together, agreeing a program of activities where they can deliver benefits. Possibly it's process changes, possibly it's changes to a specification, maybe it's about bringing on board innovative products or new ways of working. And it's about project managing each initiative through, and it has a bottom line benefit which will be delivered to the parties. And so it's about realising those benefits in a pipeline of projects over time. If both parties are committed to that, then they can drive through these continuous improvements and they will see bottom line value being added.
Mm-hmm. My final question is whether you think all relationships are suitable for supplier relationship management, or only some?
Yeah, definitely only some. We talk about this a little bit in the first session. So in the first session that we talk about on the SRM, we're looking about how we can segment a supply base instead of having thousands of suppliers and hoping that we can manage the relationships with all of these. Most mature organisations segment and prioritise which suppliers that they're going to manage the relationships with. They're looking for the highest value and the most critical suppliers and really wanting to concentrate effort on those. There are other factors. You can only really apply supplier relationship management in the long term. It's not a small one-hit wonder that's going to be done in the next quarter or the next year. You're talking about 3, 5 years, possibly a decade. The organisations that do this the best are those who are working with suppliers over multiple years to drive improvements.
Well, thank you for that, and I hope you've enjoyed our session on supplier relationship management. There are 2, the early one and this is our second one. So hopefully that's given you a really good, well-rounded view of what SRM means and why maybe there's a lot to talk about it and we don't see it quite so much in terms of actual practical application and embedding into organisations. And Ian's just explained why that might be. So it very much sounds like long-term relationships and really waiting for that added value and putting a lot of effort and resources in. Thank you, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this session. If you have, if you could like and subscribe, and more importantly, good luck with your examinations.